watching Weekly World News on Spring Nectar TV. Welcome back after the holidays. This is Vibha Ramesh from Los Angeles, United States. First, the top headlines. US reports global record of single-day COVID infections. Subpoenas issued to Trump's son and first wife. Canadian court offers monetary award to families of victims from plane crash. 5 powerful nations pledge against nuclear war. Covaxin and Covishield cocktail boosts higher immunity. European Union mandates masks in schools. Moving on to news in detail. Monday marked a day with the highest record of infections worldwide, with over 1.08 million people testing positive on a single day. Primarily led by the Omicron variant, the spike in infections prompted health experts to alert the public of the harm that the Omicron variant could bring to children with infected parents. In the words of Peter Hodes, Dean of the National School of Tropical Medicine and Professor of Pediatrics, this narrative that it's just a mild virus is not accurate. Meanwhile, Donald Trump Jr. and his mom, Ivana Trump, were issued subpoenas by the New York State in connection to business fraud. News has it that the subpoenas were served on December 1st as part of an inquiry into a fraud related to Trump's business. Former President Donald Trump, though, believes that the investigation was a politically motivated decision. On the COVID front, trial results of Pfizer COVID vaccine administered to children under the age of 5 will soon be out. According to a Pfizer vaccine researcher, Dr. Alejandra Gertman, the study has been amended to give a third dose to everybody who's less than 5 at least 8 weeks after their last vaccination. She further stated that results are expected by April this year. Sources said that Pfizer is also studying the effect of a third dose of the vaccine in kids aged 5 to 11, even as a booster was backed last Wednesday for children between 12 and 15 years of age. Over to India, a study has revealed that mixing doses of Covishield and Covaxin improves the body's antibody response by 4 times. According to Dr. Reddy, who was one of the researchers, spike protein neutralizing antibodies are the ones which kill the virus and reduce the overall infectivity. We found that when the first and second dose are of different vaccines, the spike protein antibody response is 4 times higher compared to 2 doses of the same vaccine. The study was conducted on 330 volunteers, all of whom were healthy and did not have a history of being infected with COVID. Meanwhile, India sees another surge in the number of COVID infections across the country. Subsequently, several states have already reimposed restrictions and/or lockdown depending on the gravity of the situation in the state. While the capital has imposed a weekend curfew and work-from-home rule for government employees, Uttar Pradesh has extended its night curfew hours by 2 more, making it 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. starting January 6th. And in Karnataka, except for medical and paramedic schools, all other schools and colleges have been closed, and entertainment venues will function at 50% capacity only. Bihar has extended its existing night curfew to continue until Jan 21st, along with other restrictions, including offices to work at 50% capacity and the shutting down of entertainment places. All elementary and middle schools have moved to online instruction only. On another note, the Indian Council of Medical Research has sounded off concerns over the drug Molnupiravir. This antiviral drug, which was in contemplation for use in treatment for COVID-19, has shown significant side effects. The director of ICMR, Balram Bhargava, said, the US has approved it only based on 1,433 patients with a 3% reduction in moderate disease when given in mild cases. However, we have to remember that this drug has major safety concerns. It can cause teratogenicity, mutagenicity, and it can also cause cartilage damage and can also be damaging to muscles. Moving on, 6 families of the victims who died in the airliner that was shot down by Iran in January 2020 were awarded financial relief by the court. To this end, the families who lost their near and dear 2 years ago received 107 million Canadian dollars as a court in Ontario ruled in favor of the victims. The airline that was shot by the Iranian Revolutionary Guards killed all on board, which included 30 permanent residents and 55 Canadian citizens. Of the 100-plus victims, family members of 6 victims had filed a suit against Iranian officials. Following the filing of the civil lawsuit, an investigation was initiated. The inquiry, led by the Canadian forensic team, revealed that Iran's incompetence and carelessness were responsible for the death of the people on board. However, Iran denied the report as being politicized. Meanwhile, 5 powerful nations have unanimously agreed to go against nuclear war of any kind. News has it that the 5 nuclear weapon states, France, UK, Russia, China, and US, signed a joint pledge never to engage in nuclear war. The statement read, "We underline our desire to work with all states to create a security environment more conducive to progress on disarmament." The agreement also imbibes a commitment to avoid any escalation of conflict into a nuclear war. Considering the existing friction between China, Russia, and the West, a joint agreement of this kind was viewed as a rarity. Here's what an official stated. At the base level, to be able to say that this is how we think about these risks, and this is an acknowledgement that it is something that we want to avoid, particularly during a difficult time, I think it's noteworthy. Moving on, several European countries have reinstated the mask-wearing mandate for school children, including primary school. The move has triggered a growing concern among parents about the long-term impact of their children's mental health and ability to socialize. Let's take a look at the measures adopted by some of the countries. France reimposed mask wearing on December 15th for students over 11 years of age, and now, with single-day infections crossing 200,000, the mandate has been extended to children 6 years and older and to most indoor places, including public transport, shops, and cinemas. Italy, too, requires students over 6 years of age to wear masks in school unless the whole class was vaccinated. And Germany requires students to change their masks 3 times a day, besides extending the mask-wearing mandate to nursery children, too. This being the trend, the author of a study on the psychological impact of the pandemic on young people commented, "Almost all children over 6 have worn masks without rejecting it. They've normalized it. If we explain it to them well, they can understand it and follow the rules. A lot of the time, they can accept it more easily than adults." On the other hand, Sweden encourages its student community to adopt alternate hygiene practices like playing outdoors, observing good hand hygiene, and staying away from overcrowded places instead of wearing masks. And in the United States, many schools are asking students to wear masks inside the premises, in addition to providing a negative test report before returning to school after the holidays. And on the business front, Apple hit a milestone by becoming the first organization to reach a company valuation of $3 trillion. And this is not a first for Apple. It holds a record for being the first company to hit the $1 trillion mark in 2018. With this achievement, Apple stands to be valued higher than the combined valuation of giants like Coca-Cola, Boeing, Netflix, Disney, and 3 others. That said, Microsoft is close at heels and may soon join the $3 trillion mark. With that, we come to the last item in this week's report. Did you know? Many of us may have heard of the longtime tallest man on the planet, but did you know that he once helped save dolphins? Well, Bao Zixun stands at 7 feet 9 inches and entered the Guinness Book of World Records as one of the tallest living men. In 2006, Bao was known to have helped save 2 dolphins by extracting fragments of plastic from their stomach. His hands were so long that they doubled up as an effective tool. News has it that in 2007, a Turkish farmer named Sultan Kosen beat Bao's record by 6 inches. And that brings us to the end of this week's news report. I'll see you again next week with more world news on Spring Nectar TV. Thank you. Stay safe.